Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond Limitation TV. I'm Gloria. Today we are going to discuss about wanting a boyfriend under 18 natural or lines. So I'm not alone. You can see I'm with beautiful ladies. I will start on my left side. If you can present yourself, please. My name is Calvin.
Hi, I'm Julia. I am Davina.
On my right side.
Hi, I'm Kitsia.
I'm Basti. Hi, I'm Benedict.
Thank you so much. Let's start with Benedict. What do you think about that?
The pressure. I think it's a bit of both. I think naturally, when you hit puberty at a certain age, certain feelings starts to develop, and you would wanna, even though you might not understand what the feeling is, but I feel like naturally you're going to want to experience it. And I feel like, especially in school as well, we get taught there's two sex anyways. Everyone knows that, so you might want to go and experience because of the natural feelings you're feeling. And I think it's also taught or learned, because in our culture, anyways, our parents, our mothers mold us from day one to be ready to be married. They talk about it all the time. You need to do this for your future husband. You need to do this so you can get married. So I think it's a bit of both. I think.
Okay, that's it.
I agree with what Benedict said. I think it is a bit of both. I think it's natural because you can't, it's natural in the sense that, you have those natural feelings. No one can teach you how to have feelings. That's something you naturally get, right? I think, again, at a certain age, biology, right, that you start to desire certain things, right, naturally as humans. But I do also think that there is an element where it's like you are being taught to want to have a boyfriend, right? And if we go off of the question of is wanting a boyfriend under the age of 18 lands? Yes, because you see people around you in school, you see people on social media who are still under 18 and they have partners and boyfriends and whatnot, and they basically telling you, yeah, like, oh my gosh, this is that. You naturally want to fit in, you naturally don't want to be an outcast. So you're like, you know what, I'm going to go get it. But that's something that's learned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Influence.
Yeah.
I agree with both points. Pertaining to the biological side of it, yeah, growing up, you're gonna have feelings that you've never probably had before, that you're probably gonna navigate and explore, which is something that's completely natural. But it's just like now we just have to have the right guidance in order to help you navigate those feelings. Now, in terms of it being learned, yeah. We have in this generation, we have a lot of things that are going on social media. We have things that are shining light on like the good aspect of relationships, shows us like what can happen or the good, the fun side of it that people probably do want to explore. And like you said, that can have a big influence on making somebody's decision. That's if you're not strong-minded.
Thank you, Katia. Gabi.
I feel like all the girls' paints, maybe mostly because like I'm 50-50. I think it's more so of like it's character development, and it'll teach you what you want and what you don't want in the future and going on. And I think it is good to obviously like have feelings for someone because it also shows you like how to take care. Like obviously your parents take care of you to obviously try and take care of like your children, like your husband. So it's good at a young age how to like nurture someone. Obviously be considerate about their feelings, not just your own. And yeah, I think there's like loads of benefits, but also cons as well.
Thank you, Gabi. Julia.
I feel like I'm in the middle because like everyone is so different. Everyone is their own person, so for everyone they'll each have a different experience with whatever thing that we're trying to do. But some people it turns out right. Like some people they're immature and they don't know how to treat people in a relationship, or they don't know how to just navigate that. So for everyone it's very different. I think just experiences where people can have it up until and some people do end up being together for a long time.
Thank you. Davina.
I'm also in the middle, like I'm a bit 50-50 because there's pros and cons of being in a relationship that you're engaged. Because obviously we have social media, we see how cute everybody's relationship is, and that's gonna make you want to be in a relationship. Also, at the same time, we don't know what's going on behind like people's relationships as well. They may be posting looking all cute, but like there's also stuff that goes on behind like closed doors. So yeah, I was gonna ask Julia, is Julia the only one that's under 18? Do you guys feel influenced to have a boyfriend? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? By who?
Social media.
Social media. Social media.
Social media.
Some people
around that
like
age.
to set others up, not in a bad way, like, just like, oh my gosh,
Let me put you on.
Yeah.
Is that shade?
So if you, it's not like there. It's like if you say you are influencing that those people from the social media, it's not like they are telling you go and do this.
To be honest, like, I don't really like, every time I see people on social media, I always take a leave with the salt because I know that, like, not everything you see online is real.
It's real.
Like,
Yeah.
I like saying always, I like
It's
the
like a
guys
fix.
that it's not real because, they're just posting social media. But some people, when they see, like, people maybe that are similar to them or people they look up to, they see, they're together, or they see, I'm going out with my boyfriend of 5 years and we're going to go to this nice place, or I got proposed in the place of my dreams. So then people are wanting to be like, okay, oh my gosh, I want that for themselves. They'll go out the way, maybe they'll get it. And then it doesn't turn out the same because they was sold a lie, or because they thought that it was going to be like those people, the people that they see, but it turns out different. Everyone's relationship.
Yeah. Another thing I can say, like you say, influence. I think Percy and Julia and Davina, you mentioned this influence. Those people. Some people on the social media, they don't have like the good people. They can teach them or educate them or give them advice. Like you guys, you have. So those people, when you will see them on the social media, they are doing things like to show you what we are doing is good, but you have people around you who are showing you good things. So I'm not sure what the parents are saying when the parents say like you can't have a boyfriend under 18 is bad. No. Me personally, for me, it's not bad. So maybe you can see no, it's not bad for me.
I think
Why? Because when the parents say some things right now, because you want to do that things, you will feel like, why? No, I don't want to do that. No. They are talking nonsense. Just because you want to do that things.
yeah.
But later, you will understand that my parents they were right.
But I think the thing is,
Mm.
parents aren't.
Explaining.
Yeah, they're not teaching. They're forcing.
They're
It's not a showing thing.
implementing something on somebody.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
And then you can't tell somebody don't do this. Explain to them why they can't
They
do
hate
it.
why.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So
On
it's,
social
it's
media.
what I was looking to hear from you.
Yeah.
There is not a good communication.
Yeah.
It's poor.
The parents lack communication, especially
African
parents
parents.
that came from Africa and are moving here. I think obviously I understand their point of view because that's all they know. But I think if you're going to pack your things and go to a different continent or a different
You have to be willing to adapt.
yeah, you have to be willing to adapt. But once again, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to be a devil's advocate here. On the parents' point of view, they have no one to show them how to adapt. This is all they know. They've moved here. Their brain is fully developed. They can't take any more information. That's why most of them struggle when they get here. They struggle to go to school. They struggle to because their brain is already like set. It's already set in like certain things. You know what I mean? So they find it difficult. And I also think if you don't have the right support, how are you meant to do it? Like for me personally, what I'm doing school-wise, I've seen it because I wanted to understand things from parents' point of view. Things as simple as, I don't know, filling in a form. As a child, you expect your mom to know how to do that, but your parents hasn't been taught how to do that form. In her culture, in her country, she's not required to fill that form. We just expect them to. No one is teaching. I think sometimes we need to give parents grace because no one is teaching them how to do things. They are learning from the first time.
Yeah.
This is a whole new thing for them. They left their home, they left their family and everything to come here. Go on, you speak.
I was gonna say, obviously,
Guys,
most of
debate
these-
how we debate.
like we also need to give my parents grace because the way they were raised, it's probably like, oh, don't do that, don't do this. So they're thinking, oh, maybe I can teach my child that way too, but actually, it's really not.
What can I just say? I think even the grace, and I'm one. I always give my parents grace, but I think it always it's to a certain extent. I think once you've explained something, right? Once you put yourself out, you've taken your pride away. You put everything, and you've now been like, okay, I'm gonna teach you how to adapt. I'm gonna explain to you something, and it's like I don't want to do this, but I'm doing it because then if someone has to take the first step, I'll take the first step. Once you do that, I think it comes now. Your parents have to then turn around and decide, okay, I'm going to take on board what I'm being taught. If they decide, okay, no, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying, I'm not going to adapt, then at that point, it makes sense when kids like start getting frustrated at their parents. And I think that's what parents sometimes don't understand about, like, I don't understand why they're upset. They're upset because they shouldn't, first of all, have to realistically teach their parents. It should be parents teaching their kids, which obviously that's not the case, and I understand it's not the case. When you've now put yourself out of it, it's like, okay, I'm doing something that I shouldn't really do in an ideal world, but because we don't live in an ideal world, I am, right? So now I'm taking a step out to try and help you, and you're not receiving that help. That's when children become frustrated at their parents.
So do you think you guys are good with the parent? Because for me, if you are good with me, why should I shut on you?
Some people,
Just like this,
no, but
without
certain
doing anything.
people do not take help or do not take education as education or help. They take it as you're challenging me, and they don't like being wrong.
I know that's what.
So
Because parents,
Mm.
I'll speak. No, sorry.
you feel free.
They take
Feel free.
no, because it's gonna be shady.
No, it's not. It's not.
Because okay, I took from experience.
Yeah.
But parents are just so like they always think, oh, I'm your parent, you're talking to me like that. Like, but I'm just trying to say, like, when I see it from the perspective of this is how I feel, I want to tell you how I feel, yeah. I understand this is how I feel, yeah. But then the parents are like, so you're saying that to me, like, I'm your parent.
As
I'm
Pastel says, challenge the system.
your challenges. Well, they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be told that they're
You
wrong.
have to take it.
And then sometimes, they just say, like, randomly, oh, yeah, like, yeah, parents do need to be told that they're wrong. But when you actually
They don't
bring it to
accept
them,
it because they feel like, because I'm your parent, I'm above you, and that's it. Because it's like your parents is your God on earth, and they stick with that phrase at all cost. It's like, which I just think is so. Because sometimes I speak to God in it, and I'm like, yeah, but God, why did you get what I mean? Why did you do this? It's like, if I'm comfortable enough to speak to God, why can't I speak to you like as you're living with me, next to me, physically with me? Why can't I speak to you there? Because they just think I'm your parents. That's it. I don't want to hear anything else.
And the thing is,
And some parents, sorry, babe, some parents are just so stuck within their own ways, I think.
yeah.
And they just don't want to get it.
And the thing is, I think a lot of the time it's like, I understand tonal issues, right? I understand that, yes, you can express your emotion and that maybe your parents aren't mad at the fact that you're expressing your emotion, that they're mad at how you're speaking and the tone you're talking, right? But I think no one has a tone for no reason. I think kids develop tones because of how you're speaking to me, or it's like, this isn't my 10th time expressing how I feel and you're not understanding me. You get frustrated. And naturally when you're frustrated, you can't expect, because at the end of the day, this is what I feel like parents sometimes forget, is that the same way you're human is the same way that your children are also human. They also get upset. They also get annoyed. So when you shout at your parent, when you shout at your kids, say, why did you do this? Da, 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 da. Your kids also feel that same irritation. They also feel, well, at the end of the day, they're being limited because it's like, I can't talk to you the way you talk to me. And I understand that, right? But at the same time, everyone has a breaking point. So if you have parents that keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and they always think that they're right, it's like, well, no relationship is going to grow, because the way you grow is by being challenged. Being challenged is what makes you grow. If you have parents that don't want to be challenged, they don't want to grow. They want to be comfortable in where they're at, and it's like, then that's how you get distance with your kids.
Actually, I've got something. I think also, especially with parents as well, they start bringing like religion into it as well. Where it's like, obviously in the 10 Commandments, it just is like, obviously like you have to respect your mum and your dad. So especially when there's that obviously commandment, but then obviously you go against their will, or you express frustration. Because with parents, when like you express your frustration, it's not more. It's like they think of it as like disrespect, so they don't see the difference at all. So obviously it's very hard. So yeah.
They like to like bring up that one verse. What's the verse?
Yeah.
They don't like to say the rest of it.
So I think sometimes if the parent they are talking bad to the children, maybe it's the way you behave. I think
I agree
Because-
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
because I don't know, but if you are good, you behave good with your parents. Why your parent will shout on you just
But
like this?
what is behaving
What's
good though
behaving
to them?
good?
Because to them it's like you have. Because I think my biggest thing, I think a lot of parents are naive. They refuse to see life as it is. They expect you to live up to a standard that's not realistic. Let's say for example like strict on time to come home. Let's say I finish school at 3. They expect me home at 3:30 exact. But if the bus was late, I come home at 3:40. Why was your? Well, they don't understand that I don't drive. Give me. That's just an example. I don't
In this
understand.
point, what can you do if your parent did not understand? Like for example, you say you finish school at 3:30 and the bus was late. You come home like 3:40, and if your parents are shouting on you, like my parents they are like this, they like to shout. What can you do just to calm them
Me
down?
personally, I'm gonna let you talk.
Yeah, literally.
Like the thing is,
you can
What am I gonna do? If you don't
realistically,
understand, what do you want me to do?
Because what they want you, they like to shout on you just for nothing. Is normal. Maybe you can explain to them.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
the
but
thing
when you
is,
try to explain-
it's not like the explanation is not coming out of nowhere. It's something that we most likely tried it multiple times. And point you're gonna get tired.
I think some
So it's depend of the way you explain it.
It depends on the
No,
way
you
you
can
explain it.
yeah.
It depends on who the person. Because, like I said, you said your opinion. You're not like that, but other parents are stuck within their mind. No, because I'm your dad. That is it. Even if you explain it there and then, well, you might go to your mom. Yeah, your mom might understand. But if it depends on the person's character. If they don't want to learn, they're not going to learn. Even if I was to explain it to you, like break it down as if you're a child. If you don't want to take it in, you're not going to take it. I
Yeah.
think in order for someone to change, they have to realize they need to change.
Yeah.
I can't be like, let's say you might do your hair something. I say, oh, I don't like that. You might like it. Doesn't matter how many times I tell you, I don't like it. Until you look at yourself in the mirror and realize, oh, I actually don't like it. That's when you're going to decide to change. You're not going to want to change because I said change. You get what I mean? And then also as parents as well, it's like, who are you to tell me to change? Because I've lived life, I've experienced life, I've brought you here. So why are you telling me to change? If I said be here this time, you do it. It doesn't matter what comes around it. Just
and
come and
also
do it.
the thing about parents that they forget is a lot of parents use the phrase of I've seen the sun more than you have. I know more than you. But at the same time, they forget that yes, you know more than me, but that's why you behave the way that you behave.
Exactly.
That's why you have those opinions, because you have more life experience. I don't. You can't expect me at 20 years old to turn around and act the same as a 40-year-old. We don't have the same life experience. You've gone through more things than me and developed more than me.
I was gonna say with what it is. So obviously, like, there's no point in you trying to explain to your parents because when you do try to explain, they're gonna either take it the wrong way and be like, "Oh no." I think it depends on your parents.
Yeah.
So my question is, what can you do? Because all of you know your parents, how the way they are. So what can you do? Like to change that things. You know your parents, they like to talk, they like to do, we are older, we're born before you. No, you can bring something new to your parents.
No,
So-
that's because at the end of the day,
that's not
it's like
realistic.
it's not each adult to talk.
No, not to
Exactly.
teach. You can't teach your parent, but you know what? Let me tell you something. You know when someone tell you, you are young, I was born before you. It's not like they are perfect. No, they can do things that wrong, but you can say something. Even like you will not say in front of you like, look, I perceive what you say. You are right, but
It goes in.
Yeah.
you will go and maybe later you will think about, oh no, my daughter, what you say? Okay, she was right. Okay, I need to
But
change.
that's the case for some people, not
Some
everybody
people,
like that. That's why I say you
like
can't
that.
keep, like you can't tell a dog to talk. You can't, if there's somebody who does not want to learn, if they don't want, the thing is they will learn from anyone else.
Okay.
But if it's coming from their kid, it's like, I don't want to hear it coming from my kid, because it's like, what are you talking about? What are you going to tell me? What are you, like,
But
what,
you need to do the good things. It's not because your parents they are shouting on you, they are doing
the
things.
thing, the certain
You need to
parents.
behave bad because my parents are
They
saying
also
parents.
need to like provide a space where it's like you can't keep. If you do talk, yeah, you can talk. But if they keep you keep talking, you keep going in circles, you're just gonna want to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because why am I keep talking? Why
Because
do I keep talking?
it
You're
gets-
just gonna
It gets to a point.
Yeah.
It gets to a point
It
where
gets to a
you
point.
can't. I think for me anyway, because from where I am in my life right now,
Yeah.
the best way for me to move on, I think I've learned for myself, is like you just have to accept them the way they are.
Yeah.
That's one, because also the culture thing, like I said before, that's what they've been taught as well. And I've come to terms with that. Our mindset is never going to be the same. And it gets to, obviously if you have two parents, you can pick which parent to communicate with. Like me, I communicate better with my mom. I'd much rather go tell them because she sits there and understands. Whereas my dad, he just rah. So for me, it's like, I've accepted him, that's the way he is. There's nothing I can do to change that, but I'll go speak to his wife, hopefully change it. But if he doesn't, for me, it's like, that's okay. But that's because, for me, it's easy said because I'm not within the premises. I'm outside. I'm looking at it now from a different point of view now. So it's like,
Yeah.
I've accepted that that's just the person you are, and
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
mean, one thing that my dad,
Can I also say a lot of the ways, or let's speak for African parents, a lot of the way they think is because of their culture and how they were raised back home. And that's my point. They also have to be willing to adapt, especially now that like you're living in Europe and you're raising European/African kids. There's things that we go out, we learn, and we think for ourselves. We're not robots. Like we all have our own emotions, and it's something where if we're telling you as your kids, okay, you're doing something that's not right, I'm not feeding it. You have to be willing to listen because we're also people with our own feelings. We're not just saying things because, oh, yes.
one thing that my dad always says is that like in every single time you have to always look at the other person's perspective.
Yeah.
Right, which is what I try to do, right, with my parents. Even when it comes to certain things, I understand that, you know what, we don't have the same life, like you said. We don't have the same life, but we don't have the same mindset. So I know that if it's something that affects me, I have to turn around. I have to decide that, okay, I'm going to come out my way to explain it to you, right? And sometimes the only way you can get through somebody is by pushing. Even if they find it rude, it's like you still have to continue pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. At some point, it's like you're going to have to listen, right? But then again, as much as I say that, there are some parents that it's like they're so stubborn.
So what do you do then if they don't want to listen then? How do you go about that? What's the next step?
Just take the.
You have to
seize the.
well, this is what I was saying before, guys. I read a book, right? And it's basically said that if you're trying to talk to somebody, you have to talk to them in a way that's going to make it seem as if it's benefiting them. You have to stroke their ego to talk to them. So yes, it is, I guess, a form of manipulation. But if you have somebody who is so stubborn, you have to present the idea as if it's their idea, or as if this is going to make you better, right? So that's literally the only way you can do it. But it's kind of hard because it's like you now have to go and you have to analyze how can I bring this topic towards this person.
You have to be so intelligent. That you have to be mentally like a 15-year-old. They're not going to think that way. They're not going to think like, oh, let me you only know that, I'm guessing, because you've read about it now.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't think you knew about it. So they have to go out their way. So as a 15-year-old, how do you go about that? How do you now, obviously, then again, as a 15-year-old, they expect you to be beneath them because you're 15. But even if you're 18, if you're not aware that there's resources out there to help you, how can you now then come and explain that to an adult? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do you now go about it if you don't have the resources to go read researchers or just don't know where?
At that point, the only thing you can actually do is just pray. Because if you know that it's not, genuinely, the only thing you can actually do is pray because you know it's not working physically. I've tried different angles. At a 15-year-old, you don't, like you said, you don't have that mental or emotional intelligence to know how to communicate to somebody. So your only real option that's left is literally just to pray and pray that your parents change.
Oh, you can pick up a golden joke.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
I will just pass the message to the parents. You know,
Mama, listen.
what they are saying, they are not wrong, they want a good communication. Sometimes parents, you can't just refuse something to your children just like this because you were born before. It's good to explain why you don't want your children to do this, to do that. You can give them like a advantage and disadvantage. For example, look, my daughter, what you are doing is not good because of this. Look, what you are doing is good, but let's see. Please feel free if you need help or advice. Come to me, your mom, your dad. I will explain to you because I was born before you and I went through those things. I know exactly. So please, parents, stop just saying, don't do this. It's not a good thing because what you are doing, you are putting like a barrier between your children and you. So that's why most of the children, they are going to, to talk with, to speak with other people outside because they are not feel like comfortable with you. Why not to build that relationship with your children so your children can come and you to come to you and explain to you everything. I think it's a good thing. Please, parents, listen to this. It's good to have a good communication with your children. If something they are doing is not good, call your child or your daughter or your son, I don't know, explain to them. My son, my daughter, look, it's not good. I love you. I don't want you to become like this. I don't want you like to be bad in the future. I want you like to get married, to finish your study. I want to see like my, your future husband. All I want is you to be good and happy in the life. I think it's a good thing because what they said, they are right. There's no good communication. There's not a good communication. Please, parent, can you try to do that in the future? If you are doing that, good, thank you. But if not, try to do that so it will be good for you and for your children. Please, guys, can you tell me, because in our culture it's not good as a Congolese to have a boyfriend under 18. Even you are mature, even you are this, is not good. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So you are born here in England. I know the culture is different. So what do you think about that? So our parents, they are wrong,
I
or
think they're naive. Sorry, but I think sometimes they're actually kind of naive because if we sit back, if we look at it, what age did you get married? Do you get what I mean? Not you particularly, my lawyer, but I'm just saying, like, back then, even like our grandparents, they got married at a young age.
Yeah.
So how did they get there? Because you can say in our culture we're not allowed to have boyfriend at a certain age. If you look back, your mom got married at the age of I don't know how long. How old did you get married? You know what I mean?
You always hear the phrase of bon âge, non, c'est déjà ma
Exactly. So it's like,
if we do, right? I mean, you could think that maybe they're trying to.
that's how most of, and this is another thing, but that's how most of the people in Congo, they're in a relationship that they're not happy to get beaten up, and that's normalized.
Because they do
It's like,
that,
boy, you so because.
well, what about here in Europe? How many, if you see on YouTube, young people bazobala, après 1 month, makabwani.
And I think that's okay. Because obviously you don't have to. Because my thing is, obviously I'm not saying that you get married to divorce. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can give. So it's okay to give something a go, and it doesn't work out for you to leave. The difference back home is you're giving something a go, but you have to stick with it. Yes, I know that marriage, you're not meant to divorce or whatever, but it's like I feel like even God Himself would not want me to be in a relationship where I'm getting beaten up every 24/7. Yes, that can happen here. Domestic abuse is everywhere, but I think back home it's higher and. At home, I think what makes it worse is hidden. It's a taboo to talk about being domestic abuse. It's to them, it's normal for a guy to come and beat you up, and it's like it's not normal.
So do you think like having a boyfriend under 18 is good just to know each other?
I think you can get to know each other, yes. I think you can get I think it depends. I think if we're speaking, yes. I think we just can't be, I just think we can't be naive. You can't say no. In the culture we're living in right now, you can't say no, you can't, and this period, blank period. That's not true, because it puts your children at more risk, because they're going to go out and do it anyways. Same as Congo anyways, because you can tell Congolese girls back home, you're not allowed to have a mobile, but now, but you don't know, that puts them at higher risk anyways. I think you can have a friend if that's how you want to put it in it. And I think as your child, I'm such a big believer as it depends on your child. You have to get to know your child.
Yeah.
There's not a book that fits, or something that might work for me might not even work for my sister, because we're two different people. So I think if you get to know the child you have to try and adapt certain things to fit that child. You can't have a handbook and be like, this worked for Ben, it's going to work for Ben's sister. It might not work for Ben's sister, because Ben's sister is completely different, and vice versa. So I think it depends on your child. You have to get to know the child. If you feel like your child is able to make choices for themselves, which I think parents should give us the opportunity, then you can tell them to do certain things. But if you feel like, no, you can't, and they've shown you that they can't, then you might have to restrict them certain things. I don't think there should be like one size fit all, because it's never one size fit all.
I think also, I feel like parents they don't trust their own parenting.
Yeah.
Right. I think parents need to understand that I raised my child, right? I taught them what's right and I taught them what's wrong. I need to trust that what I've taught you, you can then turn around and apply it to your life.
You want your parent to trust you.
Yeah,
So
they
what-
should
And trust themselves, because
Yeah.
they're the one that's teaching me, because it's like you're not even trusting what you're teaching me, because you're questioning it now. Because like, do you even know how to parent them?
So do
Because
you
you're
know?
questioning yourself.
Do you know sometimes the parent they are lost?
Yeah,
They
yeah, I
can't even
understand.
say. They can't even like this is not my daughter. How she behave like this?
No, because
If
you don't know your
lost-
daughter though. Because I think that their parents are so quick to say this is not my daughter, because you didn't give you the opportunity to actually get to know who your daughter is. Because you have this image of some parents that my daughter is perfect, and which is fair enough, innit? And they stick for it, but you don't give your daughter an opportunity to show you who they are. So then when they go outside and do something, you're like, oh my god, this is not my child, but it is your child. You just don't know them, because at home they're so restricted, they have to hide themselves and pretend to be someone that they know, but as soon as they leave they can be themselves. So it's like you don't know them because you didn't give them the space.
But I think also to say that, yeah, some parents are lost, but it's like, if you're lost, then how do you expect to lead your child? How do you expect to teach your child in the right way when you're lost yourself?
Because you are not giving them the opportunity to give you a good.
But if you're a
face.
child and you're lost, and your parent is lost,
Who's
then what do
leading
you do?
Who's leading who?
If you're my parent and you're supposed to lead me and guide me and show me how to do life, and you don't even know how to do it, how do you expect me to know how to do it?
You say something here. You need to pray.
That's what I said. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the only option that you have is just
You
to
have to
pray.
pray.
But
Because
what about
if
those that don't know how to pray? What would they do then?
Well,
Because some people don't know how to pray.
Some people don't know.
no,
Some
to
people don't know how
pray.
to pray.
You know, to pray is not like you have to do a lot of work. You can say, God help me. That's it.
Yeah, but some people.
God will help you. God will direct you.
But it comes
Because
back
if your
to,
parent they can't direct you,
it comes
okay,
back to what we was talking about yesterday. That to ask for help, regardless of
You
whether
need
if it's
to
from
realize-
God,
Yeah.
you need to be strong
Trying
enough
to
to ask
for
help.
the help. Because if you don't realize it and you're not mentally ready to ask for it, you're not going to ask
That's
for
why
help.
we are talking about this. So you are here, you can tell other children like if something happened, they have to say, God help me. That's it.
Yeah,
Go
I
to
can,
God,
say,
guys.
I,
Go to
can, I
God.
can turn around. The thing is, I can turn around and I can tell somebody, if you're going through something, ask God. I can say it 100 times.
Yeah.
But them themselves, they
Them
need to
want
also
to.
want to do
And
that.
believe in it as well.
You can tell somebody, oh, do this, God is the right way, you can tell them, but at the end of the day, they need to know that for themselves.
You know that is two things is two things different, because it's not like you are asking them to do a lot of things or to have a faith. You know, some people when they are desperate, like they don't know what you do, they are running to God.
Yeah, but that's
Even they
also
don't know that
mentally-
God,
that's
they are running
also-
to God. If you want me to believe that you exist,
Mhm.
do something to me.
But
So
that takes
the
mental
good
strength.
things, just tell that people, ask to God help. That's
But
it.
that takes mental strength. Not everyone is mentally
That's
strong.
okay.
Some
Yeah.
people think, when I say mental strength, as in
Getting my points.
you have to, yeah, you have to be mentally strong, right? Because at the end of the day, there are certain people that it's like, you know what, I'm so desperate, I'm going through it, that it's easier for me to just go and end it all.
Than
Right.
to
Than
stand
to
up
go
and
to
do
God.
something. Just
Yeah.
as simple as just
Yeah.
saying, God help me. It takes a lot of strength for you to just be like, God help me.
Because
Or just
to
ask for
even say
general help
that-
anyways.
To even say that, you have to be vulnerable before God. right? When you say help, I need help. This is what I'm struggling. You're being vulnerable. You're opening yourself up, and that means you have to expose the pain that you're going through. And some people have gone through so much pain that it's like, I don't want to relive it. I don't want to say it, even if it's to God. I don't want to say it. And there's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can physically say to you for you to change your mind. All I can do is maybe pray for you and pray that you change. But I can't tell you, yeah, go ask God to help you, because at the end of the day, the conversation is going to be between you and God, not me and God.
And at the end of the day,
So-
it's giving advice. Advice is optional.
That's another thing.
That's
Yeah,
what people
that
need to also
need to
realize.
realize
That's
advice
to
is
the parents.
optional.
So-
So when you give advice, it's not something that you're telling the person must do it. Advice is if they want to take it, they take it. If they don't take it, they don't take it. At least you gave it.
That's what I'm saying. For example, if one of the children they are in this kind of situation, so what can you do? What can you say? Davina, can you do something?
Can you just elaborate what you mean by like?
Like if, like what we were saying before,
Yeah.
there are some children they can't get advice from the parents
Yeah.
because they are lost,
Yeah.
and the parent they can't get something from you as well because children they are lost as well. So that's why we were talking. So what can you say about that? Like which advice can you tell those children?
The same way Elsie said, just listen to them, like let them talk to you and listen to like what they're going through and just be there for them. And also like give them advice as well. Also at the same time, the only thing you can do as well is like tell them to pray to God. Only God can fix it.
I am literally, even with that as well, it's like even if the parents lost, like you can always go to like the second person who you think is like the closest to you. Like if me and my mum, for example, like don't see eye to eye, she's not understanding me, I'm not understanding her. Most likely I'll go to the second person who will like somewhat listen and will understand and will probably mediate between the both of us or something, because like, if your parents don't know, if they're clueless and you're clueless, you're just not seeing eye to eye. Not see it, you have to go to your dad or with someone, the second closest person that will find in between both of you.
What if you don't have a second person?
If you don't, pray. You just pray.
All you gotta do is pray.
Literally, God has all the answers. We don't have all the answers. So, in that situation, you pray.
So I think the good thing is to pray. Seek for help because there's a miracle. God can do things like we can't even imagine. It's not what we are thinking. Like God is able to do everything. Even that person don't know God, even that person never hear about God, but God is able to do a lot of things and to change that person.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have something, the last thing to say. We are nearly at the end of this emission.
I'll say to round up the question, I think, like I said before, I'm a true believer in getting to know your child. I think you should do things that fits your child, not what fits society. Because what fits society might not work on your child. So you have to get to know your child in order to alter your parenting to fit that child, or else it's not going to work. No matter how much you push through, it's not going to work. If they want to do it, they're going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
That's what I think. And I think communication is a skill a lot of parents need to learn as well. And they need to, obviously I'm not telling you to admit to me that you're wrong directly to me, but they need to reflect. Parents need to sit and reflect on their parenting and be like, okay, I can do change in this and do this and improve their communication. So reflect, communication, and altering your parenting handbook to fit the child, your parenting as well, I would say.
And for me, I would say that criticism coming from your child is not necessarily a challenge, right? If you want to be the best parent, right, then you have to also ask the opinion of the child that you are parenting, because they can tell you that, you know what, maybe sometimes when you talk to me like this, it doesn't make me feel good, right? That's not saying that you have to turn around and do everything that your child says, but you listen to them. They give you feedback because at the end of the day, you're parenting that child. If you want to know you're doing a good job, you look at the behavior, but you also look, how do you feel with how I'm parenting you? Okay.
Do you have anything else?
What can you say?
Ooh, I lost it. What is it? Compromise. have to be willing to compromise with your child. If it's not working on your end, it's not working on your child end. Try and meet halfway.
I think it's just similar to what Benedict said, like just like adjust the parenting methods, listen to your child. I think just check in, because it's like, I don't think parents, it's like it goes to parents, like obviously their mental health as well. So it's like obviously check, because there's certain methods can really affect a person's like mental health, or even just them not listening or whatever, like in generally affecting their child, and it's not going to improve or make it worse. So just listen.
Julia?
I think there should be like a balance, and like, cause we're our own people, and I feel like once you're at a certain age, like teenagers, parents should let their teenagers kind of experience life. Even if it's like you don't think something's right, you should, what we were saying before, you should just come out your way and be like, explain why you say no to this or whatever. But if it's like small things that like, I feel like everyone should have an experience that like that.
Honestly, I want to say as well, like, communication between your child and like yourself, like try and hear your child where they're coming from. Don't just like instantly just start screaming and just getting your opinions across, but also at the same time your child's opinions and matters. So like listen to them, and then when you like go away, take your time and think, right, I'm a bit wrong for that. I should like listen and like see her point of view, how she feels, because then it's gonna make your child feel like, oh, you don't care about how I feel. You just think like you just care about what you're saying. Like my emotions don't matter at all. So yeah.
Thank you so much, parents. A good communication, you will have a good result, and you will know better your children. So don't be selfish thinking about you, what you want your children to do, but you have to think about them as well, them emotionally. So how my children they are thinking, is my child is good, how she's thinking. So it's very important. So if communication is good, please parents make sure to have a good communication with your children. And thank you so much for watching us, and see you next time with a new topic. But do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Beyond Limitation TV. Bye.
Bye.